Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your Outreach Leader trainings. So for this training, we are going to be talking about opportunities to get involved with the AMA and why it's important for you to talk about it with your chapter. Before we jump into it, let's look at the agenda for what we have planned for this training. So first, myself and Meredith, your AMA Field Student Recruitment Managers, will give a little introduction. Then we will say and talk about why it's important to talk about getting involved with the AMA to your students. We'll then speak about ways to get involved and then say what's next, as in what could you join right away. In case you don't know who we are yet, myself and Meredith are going to do a quick intro. So Meredith will be working from behind the scenes today on this training. She works with regions 2, 3, 5, and California and Arizona. I am Emily, and I will be leading the charge for this training. I work with regions 4, 6, 7, and 1, with the exception of California and Arizona. Just so you know, Meredith and I are here to help with anything and everything that you will need throughout your time in medical school, both as an outreach leader, but beyond. So let's talk about getting involved. We know students join the AMA for many different types of reasons. Some join because they want to get involved with policy and advocacy, while others may just join for that free study guide. That's okay. As we start to understand the changes to step 1, going past fail, we recognize that many students want to take on more responsibilities or leadership now more than ever. Either way, we want to make sure that you and your fellow students know all of the opportunities that are available to you. So why talk about getting involved? We believe telling students about the opportunities at the AMA will not only help increase membership, but also allow for students to utilize the AMA as a tool to advance themselves for their career. So that's building on skills for their CVs, but also help with their career trajectory by building up a network and making connections. You might want to take a minute right now and think about, why did I get involved? Why did I want to join the AMA? What paths or journeys did I take on that I've really enjoyed? What do I still see in my future? These are amazing things to communicate with students because it's all about building up that personal relationship with them. We are all on different paths and trajectories, and so we are all going to have different journeys. People might be searching for different experiences than you, and that's okay. But it's important to ask them why. What are their passions, and how can we lead them towards the best opportunities for them? So that's one question we love to talk about. Follow your passions. What are people's passions? So involvement can lead to, CV builders, of course, but we also want these CV builders or these activities that you're doing to be something that you're passionate about. So here are some questions that you might want to talk about with students or even think about for yourself. So we would love if students could build up their CV using the AMA, but we really want them to explore what brought them to medical school. Was there something early on in life, maybe even a medical condition, or even something that happened in the past few years that has really, formed this idea that you want to go into medicine, that you want to be a doctor? This could be something that relates to a specialty you're looking in or so much more. We have resources to explore specialties. We have different opportunities to connect with mentors or advisors in order to explore all of those different pathways. Or do you have a passion within or outside medicine? Maybe you're really passionate about advocacy and changing policy for medicine in the future. That is a great reason to be involved with the medical student section and really help shape policy for the AMA and even this country. Or maybe one of your classmates is a parent and they're passionate about their kids, as they should be. And so why not connect them with other parents or mentors and help network them to really establish that parental support while they're in medical school or even in residency? Does a student that you're talking to have passion projects outside of work? Maybe it's a student that really enjoys writing and they are really excited to, encompass that into their work in medical school. We'd recommend maybe getting them involved with research opportunities or even publishing with the AMA. And then maybe there are just things students want to gain experience in outside of medicine, and it doesn't have anything to do with medicine. I know that my time working at McKinsey and Company, we had many doctors within the various offices. So maybe the student wants to work in consulting down the road. You can connect them to the AMA and help build on resources like public speaking, data collection, research, and all sorts of other things. So my first recommendation for you all would be to connect with their passion. What do they want to do and where do they want to go with what brought them to medical school? Next, maybe they are passionate about all sorts of things, but they also want to hone in on developing a skill. Trust me, we've all got skills we need to develop. So here's just a little word cloud of certain skills or important things that students should have when applying to residency. So are there skills that students want to develop? Maybe they do want to develop public speaking or maybe improve on interpersonal communication to develop that bedside manner. We recommend maybe helping out with recruitment, such as yourselves, and becoming an outreach leader, or even becoming and applying for an AMA ambassador position. Maybe students want to develop leadership skills, but they also know that they need a mentor to do this. One great place to find this is through the AMA Foundation with their Leadership Development Institute. Or a student sees the limitations or frustrations of their own medical education experience. They want to change medical education for those classes that come after them. So they can partner with the AMA in changing or shifting that through the med ed. Students can work with AMA's medical education councils to work on certain initiatives to really improve that medical school experience for future generations. Remember, you are the future, so whatever you want to develop and shift and change, you are welcome to. And then maybe a student just wants to focus on a specific interest. They want to really start carving that path towards their dream residency program. So aside from passions, maybe they're interested in one of these specific topics. Here are a few topics that we find that students are most interested in or want to talk about, more deeply. And if you do not see something on this list that's important to you and your fellow students on campus, let us know. We would love to bring guest speakers to come talk to you about many of these topics. But if there's other conversations or discussions happening, we want the AMA to be there to support you. Just this past year, we've actually increased our webinar efforts for students so you know and understand your voices are being heard. We want to support you in the best way possible. So whether that's understanding, how to choose a medical specialty, how to navigate the changes to step one, or even talk more in depth about public health or the new and wonderful strategic plan in our Center for Health Equity, we want to bring those topics to you. We all understand that certain topics are of interest to students. And if that's one way you want to get involved, let myself and Meredith help connect you. So now that you've seen the variety of ways for students to be involved, whether it's a specific interest, maybe developing a skill, or even a passion project, let's talk about where you can do this. So students can really do this anywhere, and I mean anywhere. So just virtually, maybe you want to do something on your own time. You want to connect virtually via email, maybe edit some manuscripts, whatever that looks like. It can be done on your own time virtually. Maybe, as you already are, you want to be a leader on the campus. You want to get more involved with extracurriculars. So that could be through your AMA chapter or through other organizations. Fantastic. We really encourage you to become a leader on campus. There's also many local, and this would be maybe county-wide medical societies. They're always looking for student representation and leadership. In addition to that, there is the state medical societies. Most state medical societies have student boards where students can really interact with their fellow classmates, fellow students in the region, or even, physicians that are currently practicing. And then there's regionally. So the AMA divides the United States up into 7 specific regions, depending on what state you're in. We kind of talked about that, and that's how myself and Meredith break up the regions. If you have a question about what region you're in, no problem. We would love to help you out with that. But regionally, students can get involved. What's really neat about this is it's kind of a combination between the state level and national level. It's working with a bigger student section rather than working with just the state. And then nationally, this would be connected to the AMA. So as you can see, there are a variety of ways to be involved just from a physical standpoint, but also each one can lead to so many different opportunities that can be built upon in the future. All right, so let's talk about ways to get involved now. All right, maybe not right now, but certain positions that you can take on or tell folks about. I would bookmark this if you can, just so you're familiar with some of these leadership positions or ways that students connect. If you don't see something or a student wants to be involved in a deeper level, but it's not on here, let us know and we will find it for you. Just as food for thought, myself and Meredith are constantly learning about new and wonderful ways to be involved with the American Medical Association. And so if you are looking for something, we can go digging for it. So here are just a few. The leadership positions, again, at the state, region, or national level. There are also many fellowships that are offered. One of my favorites is the GRAF. That is the Government Relations and Advocacy Fellow. They basically get to be the student liaison between the AMA, some of our lobbyists, and the government. And it's a really great opportunity if you're interested in really seeing how advocacy comes to work with AMA. Next is the AMA Ambassador Program. This is such a fun group of folks. They really just get to get out and spread the wonderful work about the AMA through social media posts or even in person. One of my faves with my psych background is the AMA Research Challenge. This is an opportunity for students who want to do research. You get to present your research to experts in the field and receive feedback. We know that as changes to step one linger, that a lot of students want to take on more research opportunities to throw on that resume for residency. And then you are also able to publish with the AMA academic journals. One journal in particular loves submissions from students, and that is a Journal of Ethics. They work hand in hand with students, and you can even work on their team. Another great way to be involved is through resolution writing. So the medical student section does a lot of resolution writing, and this carries into many of those different conferences the AMA offers. We really believe that if you are interested in changing policy, resolution writing is a great place to begin. And then, because I love a good party, networking and community within the medical community is fantastic to do through the AMA. A lot of this is going to be done through our 3 conferences that happen in June, November, and in March. But this is a great way to connect with mentors, to build up community, build relationships, and really maybe find a new reason why. As someone once said, they come for the policy, but they stayed for the people. So please use us in that. And lastly, before we end, we are here to help. Myself and Meredith's contact information are going to be on this slide. We want to make sure that you are set up for success and provide you with the resources and tools to kick off another incredible year. Thank you all for joining us for this training. We're looking forward to seeing you on the next one.